And of course, Frankfurt are also a good example of this in recent years. After some fairly lean spells, they've come back to being a Champions League side for the first time. They won the Cup and the Europa League. So a real success story in recent years. Also, mostly with some really good scouting, clever decision-making, not huge sums of investment being spent there. They have a chance to get back into the Cup final with that trip to a rejuvenated Stuttgart. How do you see this one going? I mean, this Stuttgart-Frankfurt sounds like a sort of 1980s DFB Pokal classic.
Yes,
and it could
that's
be,
true.
and it could be again.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, fortunes have turned a bit for Frankfurt. They right now they look like as if they would miss European football if they don't win the cup. I mean, they have a row of 9 Bundesliga games now without a win. This weekend they played 1-1 against Augsburg, and there's a big frustration right now around Frankfurt, and also I mean, Oliver Glasner, the coach, was having a talk that is, and we have some learning Fußballdeutsch, a Brandrede. I don't know how that translates into English. So is there I think you have to explain what a Brandrede is for, or is there it's a kind of fire
Brandrede
talk,
basically, yeah, but it's sort of when you say things that make the whole house burn down, kind of, or warn, can also be a warning about the house might be burning down.
Yeah, so it's typical if somebody, a coach or a manager or a director or a player is criticizing everything. In this case, he is criticizing how Frankfurt is perceived right now, and especially his relationship with sports director Markus Krösche, and because everybody is saying they don't get along well. He wasn't saying, no, we get along well, but he was saying it was overblown and populistic and so on. So the atmosphere around Frankfurt is not the best, but I think you can say the opposite about Stuttgart, a club that was deep in frustration some weeks ago. Now they seem to have changed their fate in the relegation race, or a race against relegation, because they were winning 2-1 against Borussia Mönchengladbach. They now have 28 points, same as VfL Bochum, and they are on 15 now. And but they look like the team that almost only theoretical can go down, because they're playing well again, and so a big chance for them to go to the German Cup final. Stuttgart for the 6th time. They've already won it 3 times. So as you said, it's a classic German Cup game, and with these names that have been around in quarterfinals, semifinals, finals pretty often. And again, I think it's a 50-50 game.
I think Frankfurt should be favorites because of where they've been in recent years, but they're dropping down the table with that inconsistency that we've seen. Defensively, they look quite shaky. They still play some really good stuff, but without Kolo Muani, who I think might still be injured on Wednesday, it's gonna be tricky for them. So a good chance to have the Baden-Württemberg derby in the cup final. Freiburg against Stuttgart, that would be some game.
Swabians.
I mean, there's so many Swabians in Berlin anyway, so
yeah. But also a lot of people. What's the English word for Baden? Is that Baden? Is that translated? Because
Baden.
Swabian is
Yeah.
Schwaben, and So Baden-Württemberg is put together with two groups like Baden and Württemberg, and in Württemberg the Swabians are living, and as you said, a lot of them went to Berlin, and they are
mostly, as the cliche goes, all of them hairdressers, but I think that was never really the case.
No, they all live on Prenzlauer Berg, and if you live on Prenzlauer Berg, you can't afford to live there being a hairdresser. So
yeah, I guess not. But heavily into recycling and this kind of stuff.